Why is it that some people walk into a job interview and just seem to nail it? What are they doing that you're not? Could it be something as simple as body language? Maybe. Think about this for a moment. You're in an interview. You've got the experience, the skills, the knowledge, yet something feels off. You can't quite put your finger on it, but the vibe just isn't right. Ever been there? Job interviews can be stressful, but what if there was a way to subtly tip the scales in your favor? Spoiler alert, there is. And it's all about mastering the art of body language. Our brains are wired to pick up on even the smallest of cues, and the person interviewing you, they're no exception. Now, we're not talking about the obvious stuff like sit up straight or make eye contact. Nah, that's old news. We're diving into the lesser-known secrets that can take your interview game to the next level. So, if you're ready to unlock the door to interview success, stick around. We're about to reveal 13 little-known body language secrets that will have you walking out of that room with confidence. Ready? Let's jump in. Tip number 1. Synchronize your breathing. Breathing is more than just keeping oxygen flowing. It's a subtle tool for building rapport. When you synchronize your breathing with the interviewers, it creates an unconscious bond, making the conversation feel more natural and comfortable. It's a technique often used in negotiations and even in therapy sessions to establish trust. To apply this, start by observing the interviewer's breathing pattern. Is it slow and steady or quick and shallow? Without being obvious, match your breaths to theirs. If they're speaking slowly, take deep, calming breaths. If they're more animated, let your breathing reflect that energy. It's not about mimicking them exactly, but about finding a rhythm that feels harmonious. This helps create a subtle connection that can put both of you at ease, making the conversation flow smoothly. And now let's move to tip number 2. Anchor your hands. Nervous hands can be a dead giveaway that you're not feeling confident. Whether it's tapping, fidgeting, or wringing them, these small movements can distract both you and the interviewer. Anchoring your hands is a simple technique that can help keep you grounded and focused. Here's how to do it. When sitting down, gently place your hands on your thighs or the arms of the chair. This keeps them steady and prevents them from wandering into nervous territory. If you're standing, lightly clasp your hands in front of you or rest them by your sides. The key is to find a natural, comfortable position where your hands can stay relaxed. This not only helps reduce nervous energy, but also conveys a sense of calm and control to the interviewer. On to tip number 3, micro-expressions of agreement. Micro-expressions are those tiny, often unconscious facial movements that express our true feelings. In an interview, using subtle nods or smiles can show that you're engaged and agreeable without having to say a word. These small gestures can make the interviewer feel understood and validated, which can be crucial in building rapport. For example, when the interviewer is explaining something or asking a question, a slight nod or a brief smile can signal that you're actively listening and in agreement with what they're saying. This doesn't mean you should nod at everything, just those moments where it feels natural. The goal is to create a flow in the conversation where both of you feel connected and understood. Think of it as a way to give the conversation a little nudge in the right direction, keeping it positive and engaging. Now, let's talk about tip number 4, blink rate management. Blinking is one of those things we don't usually think about, but in an interview, it can send powerful signals. A rapid blink rate can indicate nervousness, while too little blinking can make you seem, well, kind of creepy. Finding a natural, comfortable blink rate is key to conveying calmness and confidence. To manage your blink rate, try to be mindful of it without getting too focused. If you find yourself blinking rapidly, take a deep breath and consciously slow it down. On the other hand, if you're staring without blinking, remind yourself to blink naturally. This helps maintain a relaxed appearance and keeps you from coming across as anxious or overly intense. It's all about finding that balance where you appear calm, composed, and trustworthy. Tip number 5 is a simple one, but powerful. Angle your body towards the door. The way you position your body during an interview can have a subtle yet powerful impact on how you're perceived. Angling your body slightly towards the door, rather than facing the interviewer head-on, creates a more open and approachable posture. This position subconsciously signals that you're not feeling defensive or closed off, but rather open to discussion and collaboration. Here's how to do it. When sitting, position your body so that you're not directly facing the interviewer, but slightly angled towards the door or the side of the room. This doesn't mean turning your back, just a gentle shift in angle. It helps to create a sense of ease and openness, which can make the conversation feel less like an interrogation and more like a friendly discussion. It's a small adjustment, but it can make you appear more relaxed and approachable, which can be a big plus in an interview setting. Moving on to tip number 6, foot position awareness. Your feet have a lot to say in an interview, even if you don't realize it. Restless feet, tapping, shifting, or fidgeting can signal nervousness or impatience, which might not be the impression you want to leave. Keeping your feet firmly planted can help you stay grounded and convey stability. To keep your feet steady, plant them flat on the floor if you're sitting, or if you're standing, position them about shoulder-width apart. This stance helps you feel more balanced and in control, reducing the likelihood of nervous movements. Avoid crossing your legs or tapping your foot, as these can make you appear anxious or uncertain. By keeping your feet steady, you project an image of calmness and confidence, which can be reassuring to the interviewer. And now for tip number 7, gentle forward lean. Leaning in slightly during a conversation shows interest and engagement. It's a natural way to signal that you're listening closely and that you're invested in what the other person is saying. However, it's important to keep this lean subtle. Too much, and you might invade their personal space, which can be off-putting. When the interviewer is speaking, lean forward just a little. This shows that you're engaged and interested in the conversation. It's the body language equivalent of saying, "Tell me more, I'm really listening." Just be careful not to lean in too far, as this can come across as overly eager or even intrusive. The goal is to show genuine interest without crossing into uncomfortable territory. A small, gentle lean is all it takes to show that you're actively engaged in the discussion. Here comes tip number 8, smile with your eyes. A smile can go a long way in creating a positive impression, but a genuine smile involves more than just your mouth. It includes your eyes. This kind of smile, often referred to as a Duchenne smile, is a sign of genuine warmth and friendliness, which can make you more likable and approachable in an interview. To practice this, stand in front of a mirror and smile. Pay attention to how your eyes look when you're genuinely happy. They crinkle slightly at the corners. This is the kind of smile you want to bring into the interview. It's not about forcing it. It's about allowing your natural warmth to show through. A genuine smile can break the ice and make you seem more relatable, helping to establish a positive connection with the interviewer right from the start. Let's move on to tip number 9, hand gesture precision. Hand gestures can be a powerful tool in communication, but if they're too broad or erratic, they can be distracting. Precise, deliberate gestures, on the other hand, can help emphasize your points and make your message more memorable. When you're making a point, use your hands to punctuate your words. Keep your gestures controlled and purposeful. For example, if you're talking about a timeline, you might make a small chopping motion with your hand to signify the division of time. Or if you're discussing a progression, you could use a smooth upward motion. The key is to use gestures that are directly tied to what you're saying, so they complement your words rather than overshadowing them. This not only helps to clarify your points, but also makes you appear more confident and in command of your ideas. Next up, tip number 10, subtle head tilts. A slight tilt of the head during a conversation can convey curiosity and attentiveness. It's a simple, nonverbal cue that shows you're engaged and interested in what the other person is saying. This is a great way to build rapport and make the interviewer feel heard. When the interviewer is speaking, you can tilt your head slightly to one side, especially during key moments or when you're asking a follow-up question. This gesture signals that you're listening closely and that you're genuinely interested in their response. It's a small movement, but it can make a big difference in how connected you appear. Just remember to keep it subtle. Too much tilting can seem overly eager or even a bit theatrical. Be cautious, though. If paired with a skeptical look or frown, it might unintentionally signal disapproval instead of interest. Tip number 11 is something a bit different, the power pose. This involves striking a confident, expansive pose before the interview to boost your confidence. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, hands on hips or raised above your head, and chest out, like a superhero. Research shows that holding a power pose for just 2 minutes can reduce stress and increase feelings of confidence. Before your interview, find a private space where you can hold a power pose for a couple of minutes. This might sound a little silly, but it can have a big impact on how you carry yourself during the interview. You'll walk in feeling more powerful and less anxious. It's like a secret confidence boost that you can do right before stepping into the room. And now, let's move to tip number 12, the eye contact triangle. Instead of staring directly into the interviewer's eyes for prolonged periods, use the eye contact triangle technique. This involves shifting your gaze gently between the interviewer's eyes and mouth, creating a triangular pattern. This approach keeps your eye contact natural and engaging without becoming intense or uncomfortable. When listening or speaking, let your eyes move naturally between the interviewer's eyes and mouth. This keeps the conversation feeling more dynamic and less like a staring contest, helping to maintain a comfortable and connected atmosphere. It's all about balance, keeping eye contact meaningful but not overwhelming. Finally, let's wrap it up with tip number 13. Gesture openly, not overly. Use open hand gestures to convey honesty and openness. Keeping your palms visible and gesturing in a way that's inviting rather than closed off can make you appear more trustworthy and approachable. This is a subtle yet powerful way to reinforce what you're saying with your body language. When making a point, gesture with your palms facing upwards or outwards. Avoid crossing your arms or hiding your hands, as these can be perceived as defensive or closed off. Open gestures help create a sense of transparency and sincerity, which can be especially important in an interview setting. It's a way to physically show that you're open to dialogue and collaboration. And there you have it. 13. Little-known body language secrets that can elevate your interview game. These tips aren't just about looking good. They're about feeling good, confident, and connected. When you master these subtle cues, you're not just answering questions, you're engaging in a dynamic conversation. A conversation that can leave a lasting positive impression. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Good luck on your next interview. Go out there and show them what you're made of. So, what's your favorite body language tip from this list? Or maybe you've got your own secret weapon that works like a charm. Share your thoughts in the comments below.